Hey, good Tuesday morning, my friends. MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa here with the MLive Morning Weather Update. And we do have a weather pattern change gradually coming. I think it's going to feel more than gradual. In the weather world, it looks gradual, but in the human world, I think you'll say, wow, what happened here? And that's as we get toward Halloween. But before that, we've got 3 days of off and on lake effect rain to deal with. Some parts, like southwest lower Michigan, will get quite a bit of rainfall. Now, remember that lake effect can still make it over to the eastern side of the state, but it's real sporadic at that time. But it's certainly not a dry situation. Now, overnight, we had some showers roll through. Those have moved east over into Canada. We're kind of in the dry wedge right now. You can see clearly the circulation coming down out of Minnesota into western Wisconsin, and that will set off the next round of showers. And in fact, our radar forecast will show that to you here in just a second. Here's the radar at the moment, and like I said, it's dry. You start to see a few spotty showers off to the west. So here's the radar forecast then, and what you'll notice is that it lights back up with areas of showers. Let me hit the refresh on this, rapid refresh. Eric Suzuki is getting cranked up about snow. We'll hold off on that a little bit. All right, here's your radar forecast. One this afternoon. So what it says is in the early afternoon, we'll have some spotty showers developing on the west side of the state and quickly moving east. This is 3 and 4 and 5 o'clock. So this is going to kind of be where the instability of the day develops the showers and maybe even thunder showers. This is 6 o'clock. And something like that would be, quick downpours just about anywhere over lower Michigan and the eastern UP. Now, this evening, still showery. This is midnight tonight. Then the pure lake effect kind of signature starts to form. This is Wednesday at 6 in the morning and 7 and 8. So once we get past the spotty showers and thunder showers this afternoon and this evening, it becomes more of a pure lake effect event for places like Muskegon, Holland, Grand Haven, South Haven, Grand Rapids area. Yes, this is tomorrow, 1 in the afternoon and 2 and 3, and this is 6 and 7. Another area of showers comes on in. So, it's definitely an off and on showery pattern. Okay, so here we go with a little bit longer of a model, and this is this afternoon. So it indicates the same thing, a flare up. If you're going to try to get anything done, do it this morning, because by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, any one of us could have downpours. Let's see. No, Tom Ramsey, not good roof repair weather at all. Now, this model indicates the same thing, toward morning, a solid area of showers, Lansing to Grand Rapids, Big Rapids. This is tomorrow. So this is why I say we're going to continue with the lake effect showers. This is tomorrow night. And this is Thursday morning. This is 1 p.m. Thursday, off and on showery. So not as much in Ann Arbor, Detroit, Flint, the Thumb, and Saginaw, but outside of that area, you will have off and on showers. Okay, now I don't sugarcoat it for you. I like to show you the guts of meteorology. So what we're going to look at is the possible weather pattern change coming. Hold on here. Let me see if we got any questions. Nope, looks like we're pretty good. Okay, so we're going to look at the upper airflow off of what's usually the best model, the European model. We're going to look at it in its ensemble mode, meaning 50 tweaks of it averaged all together. And what you'll see as we get toward early November, it wants to indicate finally, and we haven't had this kind of pattern in quite a while. It's not an uncommon pattern, but we haven't had it in a while. We'll have a trough on the east coast and a ridge on the west. That puts us into a mild northwesterly flow, and that's definitely a cooler flow than what we've been experienced. By the way, October right now running 5 degrees warmer than normal, which is fairly significant. It's not record warmth, but it's fairly significant. So here's your upper low that's over us now. And you can see why we get 3 days of lake effect, because this is Thursday morning right there. Still air circulating around the upper low pressure system, what we call cyclonic curvature. That means it's kind of shaped around the low pressure center. And our aloft doesn't really go anticyclonic until about Friday. And here's Friday, and here's Saturday. And this storm system that looked like it could come at us on the weekend might miss us to the south. So we may eke out a dry weekend. And then everything continues to show that around Halloween, this is October 30th, this is Halloween right there. Another upper low will form over the eastern U.S., over Michigan. That's kind of a showery pattern. Not an all-day long rain, but it's kind of showery. Now we go to November 2nd, and November 3rd, and November 4th, and November 5th. And it shows that the atmosphere is a little bit compressed, cooler than normal in the eastern half of the U.S., warmer out west. We're in a northwesterly flow. That would be a little bit cooler than normal, probably. And by that time, your normal highs are probably in the mid-40s. So get used to some 40s, even some 30s. Now, here's the European, and this is Wednesday afternoon. That's definitely a lake effecty type pattern. Look at Thursday morning, Traverse City to the southwest corner. These are, little spurts, but you can't plan on it being dry in through Thursday. Here's Friday. Finally, it breaks down, and here's Saturday. And like I said, the newest data shows that much of the precipitation on the weekend may miss Michigan to the south. And into early next week, dry conditions, and actually fairly dry. And then this model, for what it's worth, as it forms the upper low, keeps most of the moisture off to our east until we get to early November. But definitely the point is, I would say our 70s are done, unless something really bizarre comes back in November. Oh, I just got flashed that my battery's low. I gotta finish up here for you. So we're in the 50s today, low 50s back to Northwest and Traverse City. Tomorrow we're all about 50 degrees for a high, and it's going to be rather cool. Thursday 50 for a high, and Friday 50 for a high. Saturday low 50s, Sunday low to mid 50s, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday 40s and 50s. And as we get out to November 2nd and November 3rd and November 4th, remember this model can be a little bit on the cold side. We'll also start to get some frost. Our first widespread frost I'm targeting is probably Saturday morning, making it all the way down to maybe the Grand Rapids area finally, maybe even down into northern Indiana. And you'll see a lot of mornings as we close out October of getting to around 35. If you clear, you get to 32. Now we're at November 2nd, November 3rd, November 4th. So we are starting to get colder. You knew it had to happen, because what do we know? The sunshine always loses power. So there you have it. Get ready for some off and on showery weather depending on where you're at. And I'm going to have some details on that in a written post here on MLive coming up shortly. So take care. Thanks for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. Have yourselves a great day. Bye.